going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my Elite XC unfinished business predictions. The event taking place, of course, on July 26th on CBS, another free event by Elite XC. I'm going to run from the bottom of the card all the way to the top. We've got 3 championship fights on this card. It's going to be a solid card, top to bottom. One fight to mention, though, Antonio Silva and Justin Eilers is on Showtime, I do believe. I don't believe that fight actually is going to be on the CBS card, but nonetheless, I'm still going to run over it. First fight of the night, Shayna Baszler versus Christiane Cyborg. Of course, a women's fight. Baszler, of course, trains with Josh Barnett, has a very, very good submission base. She's got decent stand-up as well. Was the inventor of, and I got to remember what the name of the submission is. I think it's called the Schwing. It's a weird submission. It's almost like an inverted arm lock. If you haven't seen it, check it out. She's fought Keiko Tamai, Tara LaRosa, Amanda Buckman, Jan Finney. Her list goes on. Christiane Cyborg has fought in the Samurai Storm promotion. I've heard about her. She's won all of her fights, and I think most of them were won by TKO. But she's fought Maryse Vittoria in her last fight. I'm going to go with Baszler. I think that she's going to be able to impose her will. She's got very good stand-up, very good heart. She's got very good ground game. I'm going to go with Baszler via a late second-round TKO. I think she's going to stop Cyborg. She's got good combinations, and she did really well. She did fairly well against LaRosa up until the point the fight got stopped. So we'll see how that plays out. Next fight, Antonio Silva versus Justin Eilers for the Elite XC Heavyweight Championship. Antonio Silva, of course, great Muay Thai base. He's got some good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. He's very good on the ground. His clinch game is excellent, and he's a very agile heavyweight for his size. Of course, the nickname being Junior Silva. He's fought Rigo Rodriguez, Eric Pele, Tom Erickson, Cabbage Carrera. The list goes on for Antonio Silva. Justin Eilers, of course, fighting out of Milicic. And he's got a good wrestling base, decent striking combinations. His ground game's not too bad. His last couple fights, he had Wade Shipp, Pedro Hizzo, Paul Buentello, Mike Kyle, Andre Arlovsky, Brandon Vera. The list goes on for Justin Eilers. I'm going to pick Antonio Silva. I think he's going to win the fight. I think he's going to be able to utilize his reach, going to be able to push the pace, put Eilers in the clinch, where I think that's where he's really going to just open up on Eilers, maybe some dirty boxing, and I think he's going to stop Eilers in the second round. He may get the fight to the ground and go for a submission, or just straight up outbox Eilers on the feet, but I think he is probably going to try to clinch up with Eilers, put him up against the fence, try to dirty box him, try to throw some elbows, and I think he wins the fight by dropping Eilers and getting on top of him by a second round TKO. Next fight, Nick Diaz, Thomas Denny. Nick Diaz, of course, great black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training out of with Cesar Gracie. He's got good boxing skills, excellent boxing skills. He's been in a pro boxing fight, I think once in his career, at least. I always talk about that. But last fight, Mushin Corbray, couldn't make weight, of course. Then he's fought in the past KJ Nunes, Takano Rigomi, Gleason Tebow, Diego Sanchez, Carl Parisian, Sean Shirk, Joe Riggs. The list goes on for Nick Diaz. Thomas Denny, has a good Vale Tudo background. He's got a decent ground game. He's not too bad on the ground. Last fight, Joe Camacho. He's fought Olaf Alonso, Joe Stevenson, George St. Pierre. He's fought some of the who's who in the mixed martial arts game. I'm going to go with Nick Diaz. I think he's going to be able to stop Denny, and I think that the weak point of Denny's game really is his ground game. I think Nick Diaz, for the most part, can withstand with Denny on the feet. And probably, if not in some portions, outstrike Denny. But I think that you're going to see this fight go to the ground, and Diaz is going to pull submission in the second round. So I'm going to go with Nick Diaz, second round submission. Next fight, Jake Shields versus Nick Thompson. Jake Shields, of course, has fought in so many different organizations: Shudo, Rumble on the Rock. He's an ADCC, finalist. He's grappled in Pan Am. I mean, the guy's at 170 one of the best grapplers, pure grapplers in the world, and it shows. He's got a good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu base. He's a black belt, great wrestler, and his striking has really come along. Fought Mike Pyle, who in his own right, Mike Pyle is a great grappler. Renato Bellissimo, Carlos Condit, Yushin Okami, Dave Mene, Kara Kikuchi, Maha Sakurai. The list goes on for him. Nick Thompson has got good stand-up, got a great wrestling base. In his own right, he's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's not bad on the ground himself. The last couple fights, Mark Weir, Eddie Alvarez, Carl Parisian, Josh Neer. I think Jake Shields all around in this fight outclasses Nick Thompson. I think, let me choose my words carefully, I think he beats Nick Thompson in most of these areas in this fight. I think he, better in the submission, better in the ground game. I think he's got, from where he came along earlier in his career in striking, I think he's got some better striking combinations than Nick Thompson, and I definitely think he's the better wrestler. So I'm going to go with Jake Shields. I'm going to say second round, or actually, I'm going to go Jake Shields' decision, to be perfectly honest. I think that Thompson has enough submission defense to withstand most of the things that Jake Shields throws. Shields could stop this fight via submission or a TKO on the ground, but I think that he's going to go the distance with Thompson, and I think it's going to go Shields unanimous decision. Next fight for the middleweight championship, Robbie Lawler, Scott Smith. Robbie Lawler, of course, training with Miletich. Actually, it's Team Hughes now, but great striker. Has some of the most powerful hands in mixed martial arts. He tags you with one, and he will drop you. Good ground game, underrated ground game. He's got good wrestling as well. He's got a very good wrestling base, and has decent wrestling. Last fight, of course, the controversial fight with Scott Smith. He fought Ninja Hua, Frank Trigg, Joey Villasenor, Evan Tanner, Nick Diaz, Chris Lytle. The list goes on for Robbie Lawler. Scott Smith, training out of the Capital City Fighting Alliance. Scott Smith has got very, very good hands. He's got a powerful right hand if he hits you with it. And his jab is excellent. He's got good leg kicks, good footwork. His ground game's not bad. And he is got a good wrestling base as well. Last fight, Lawler, the controversial stoppage. Fought Ed Noki. Ed Noki. He fought Ed Herman, Kyle Noki, Patrick Cote, Pete Sell, the list goes on for Scott Smith. I think Lawler, again, just like in the first fight, and like I said on my earlier predictions video on the first fight between these two, I think Lawler is able to use his jab, utilize good combinations, and he's probably going to be a little bit more open in this fight because he knows what Scott Smith has to offer. Use more leg kicks, use more 1-2 combos, and just pick Scott Smith apart. And I think this fight's going to go very similar to what happened in the first fight. I'm going to pick Robbie Lawler to be a third-round TKO. I think he is going to stop Scott Smith. I think he's going to catch him with a combo, drop him. It's going to go down to the ground, and Lawler's going to finish the fight on the ground. I'll be back either the night of this event or the night after to do a review video. Leave me some comments, constructive, negative, positive. And on that note, you guys, have a great day.